On the long stretch of State Highway 67, the evening carried with it a deceptive calm. Streetlights glowed against the quiet pavement, casting long shadows over the road that led into Riverton. Harold Benton drove with the patience of someone who had nothing to prove and nowhere urgent to be. For him, the drive was ordinary, but ordinary ended the moment the flashing lights of a patrol car filled his mirror, washing his windshield in red and blue. He slowed immediately, signaling before guiding the vehicle onto the shoulder. The motion was deliberate, careful, almost rehearsed. At 70 years old, Harold knew what it meant to be pulled over. This was not a moment for sudden gestures or misplaced words. His hands gripped the steering wheel, steady, visible, waiting for the next step of a ritual that had defined too many encounters between men like him and men in uniform. He left her with a choice. That night, Eleanor sat alone in her apartment, the folder unopened on the table before her. The TV played quietly in the background, but she wasn't listening. Instead, she stared at the envelope, its edges crisp and deliberate. She ran her fingers along the seal, uncertain of whether opening it would change everything or confirm that it already had. Eventually, she did open it, and the moment she began reading, she knew it was real. All of it. Not a test, not a gesture. A life-altering opportunity delivered not out of pity, but recognition. Julian Maddox hadn't just noticed her work. He had trusted her with something few people ever received. A second chance, backed by real resources. She didn't ask for it, but she had earned every page. One evening, as she locked up, she paused outside the lobby doors. Through the glass, the light glowed warmer than before. The space wasn't different in structure, but it felt different in spirit. Less like a place people pass through and more like one they might return to. And standing there in the quiet, keys in hand, she finally let herself feel it. This was hers. There was no need to declare that things were changing. The walls said it for her. Every creak, every shift in light, every softened echo of footsteps down a freshly painted hallway. Pinecrest Manor was responding to care it hadn't felt in years. Not transformation exactly, more like reawakening. The first repairs were unglamorous: plumbing, wiring, insulation. Amara didn't watch from the sidelines. She was there each morning when the crew arrived, sleeves rolled, clipboard ready. She wasn't trying to impress anyone. She was trying to learn the weight of pipes, the cost of sealants, how long grout took to cure in cold weather. The rhythm was slow but constant. 1 week in, the lights in the back stairwell stopped flickering. A guest mentioned it in passing, surprised. A small comment, but it stayed with her, fixing things no one believed could be fixed. That's what the work had become. She kept her role on the floor, not as a gesture, but as routine. Cleaning rooms, answering the phone, rolling laundry carts through narrow hallways. The staff never asked why she didn't step back. They understood. It wasn't about oversight, it was about presence. Gradually, those around her began to mirror the shift. Marty cleared out the broken mop buckets that had sat in the supply room for months. Theo started tracking repair issues without being asked. Alma reorganized the linen closet and labeled everything in sharp, clean handwriting. No one was trying to impress her. They were trying to meet the moment. Each evening, Amara walked the building alone, past fresh paint, leveled door frames, tiles that no longer shifted underfoot. She paused in places she once rushed past. The corners of the lobby where the air used to feel stale now held something warmer. The draft near the kitchen was gone. The radiators ticked evenly. It wasn't beauty that mattered. It was function, safety, memory. In the hallway outside room 114, she paused at a dent in the baseboard that hadn't been repaired yet. She left it, not because it didn't matter, but because some things were reminders that this place had lived through time, that it had held people, weathered stories, held on. She didn't need the building to be perfect. She just needed it to work. And for the first time since taking the keys, she believed, quietly, steadily, that it would. Growth didn't announce itself. It just became part of the routine. The first sign was the calendar, fewer empty squares. Then came the questions. Do you have availability next month? Is there a room with a desk? Can we bring our dog? Small things, but steady. Pinecrest Manor had shifted from being a backup option to a place people sought out, not for luxury, for something quieter. The rooms weren't perfect, some paint still chipped, a few windows stuck in humid weather. But there was order now, there was rhythm. Guests arrived and found what they expected, sometimes a little more. They left behind notes in the guest book. Simple and peaceful. Exactly what I needed. Amara didn't watch the numbers every day, but she noticed the difference. Deliveries arrived more often. Linen orders increased. She was able to hire a part-time assistant for the evening shift. It wasn't expansion, it was reinforcement. The building supported it. New habits formed. Alma set up a lost and found drawer with labels. Theo created a guest welcome sheet with Wi-Fi codes, taxi numbers, nearby cafes. Marty began bringing in fresh lemon slices for the water cooler. Not because anyone asked, because it made sense now. People weren't just passing through. They were settling in, even for a night. Amara started receiving calls from others in the community. A nearby college asked if they could place interns for short stays. A local photographer offered to shoot updated interior photos. One day, a woman from a preservation society visited unannounced, saying she'd heard Pinecrest had found its feet again. Amara walked her through the lobby without commentary. Just let her see. She didn't chase attention, but it came. And she didn't need to prove anything. The proof was in the stillness. The repaired stair rail, the warm light spilling across the lobby floor just before sunset. The way the front door no longer creaked, but clicked gently into place. That was enough. The hotel didn't need to be impressive. It needed to endure. And now, it was. The seasons turned without ceremony. Summer light crept in through the high windows earlier each morning. The ivy along the garden wall thickened, curling over the bricks like it belonged there. Guests came with lighter luggage and unhurried voices. Children played quietly in the side courtyard. The hotel didn't advertise family friendliness, but it had become that, simply because it was safe. Amara no longer questioned the outcome. She moved through her days like someone who knew the walls would hold. There were still problems, of course. A pipe in the west hallway backed up. A late delivery forced breakfast substitutions. A guest left in frustration over a double-booked room, but those moments didn't shake her anymore. They passed like wind. The foundation remained. What had been rescued was no longer fragile. Staff routines were seamless. Marty's pantry was restocked before anyone noticed it was low. Theo ran front desk operations with practiced calm. Alma began mentoring a younger hire who wanted more hours. No one used titles. They didn't need them. The building reflected their rhythm. Every detail was simple and clean. A vase of cut flowers in the dining room. A repair log pinned near the back exit. The way each room had a window that opened, even if just a little, to let in real air. Pinecrest Manor had become a space people trusted, a space that didn't demand anything from them, it just welcomed. And that, Amara realized, was the most honest success of all. If this story gave you something, a pause, a breath, a small reminder of what matters, consider sharing it. Someone you know may need that same quiet proof that care builds things worth keeping. This story is fictional. Every character and event is imagined, but the emotions are grounded in truth. We believe in equal dignity for all races, genders, identities, and abilities. We stand against all forms of discrimination. Everyone deserves safety. Everyone deserves to begin again, no matter how long it takes. This was a story about rebuilding, and rebuilding is for everyone.